Hi everyone, Gruntle here, and this is my guide to legendary and unique weapons in Borderlands, the pre-sequel. This episode we're looking at Tannis Laser of Enlightenment, which is a unique laser manufactured by Maliwan. This is part of the Claptastic Voyage DLC, so you'll need to buy and download that if you want to get this gun, and you can get it as the mission reward for Temple of Boom. You've got to hand the mission into Tannis rather than the other guy. The other guy would give you the Shield of Ages. Tannis Laser of Enlightenment is pretty cool. So, I'll give you a closer up look of the weapon here. This is the all Maliwan parted version. You can find it with different parts. The only fixed part I believe is the barrel, and that's because it needs to be a beam rather than any other kind of blaster or railgun or anything like that. This has also got a Maliwan grip and a Maliwan stock. That's what I'll be using in a demonstration. But if you get it with the dial stock, as here, this is the dial stock. It has recoil reduction. Yes, recoil reduction and recoil recovery. So it actually makes the weapon better. The Maliwan will increase accuracy, but nothing else. So yes. Anyway, we can compare it here to the Mercury Beam, which is just the legendary, very rare version of a Maliwan laser, and you can see that the damage and accuracy aren't quite as good. However, the magazine size is pretty amazing, and the ignite chance is incredible too. The only downside again is the damage. So the damage isn't that high, and the continuous damage bonus isn't great. But if you can light things on fire, especially with the flesh enemies, it's going to be pretty damaging. Now the red text here says burn away the impurities of ignorance, and that's supposed to be a reference to some philosophy, a bit of a philosophy thing. I'm not too familiar with it. It says it in the wiki page if you want to check it out. That's just below the like button in the description there. Yeah, anyway, when you're using this weapon, you'll notice here that it's not actually damaging this guy in front of me, and that is because the range is the word that I'm looking for. The range of this weapon isn't terribly good. However, you can hit this guy here, so if I move back a bit, we'll wait until this burn damage goes away so I can test it out. So you can't hit him here, here. So there, that's where it starts damaging him, so you've got to be about that far away from an enemy to start damaging them, which means it's not going to be too useful in big areas. However, if you can get up close with enemies, especially those flesh enemies, you're going to get them burning and dying all around you. So the characters that I would say would be good with this weapon would be probably Wilhelm would be the best with his laser damage buffs, as always. I don't know of any character that has fire damage buffs, although I think Athena might. I haven't done too much with Athena, so if any of the characters have fire damage buffs, then this will be a useful gun because it only comes in fire damage. I haven't already said that. Why did I not already say that? Goodness me, and I can't even speak. I'm unorganized and I can't speak. I should just move past this. Let's get on with this. Let's go to the demonstration of how this gun works on enemies. I'll be using Wilhelm, of course. So yeah, let's go and do that. So here in Overlook is a great area to be testing out this weapon. You'll be able to see the difference between it on flesh enemies and it on fire enemies. No, armoured enemies, not fire enemies. Because with the flesh enemies, it is very effective. It's doing a high amount of damage. Even if they have a shield, it's taking that out pretty quickly and then killing them with great speed. However, against the armoured enemies, it's not so effective, and that's because armoured enemies have damage resistance against, when you're hitting them with fire damage, they will resist some of the damage that you're doing to them, and that means that this gun, with not quite as high a damage as many other lasers, it's not as effective as it should be if you're trying to use it against armoured enemies. So basically what I would say is use this gun against the flesh enemies, but if you're going up against armoured enemies, use something like the Rosie, the cryo damage or the shock damage Rosie or even the corrosive damage Rosie, something like that, or any of the other damage types in another laser form or other weapon. Basically just don't use this gun. That's what I'm trying to say. And here you'll see I go down a couple of times and then eventually I die against these guys just because it's just too difficult to kill these enemies with this weapon. But you would have seen that the flesh enemies went down super quickly, so that's all good. Now I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to read more about it, like I said earlier, there's the wiki page in the description. And if you would like to see more of my weapon guides, then feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, I hope you enjoyed.